Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are tuning in from. Welcome to another episode of the Daily Dose of Delight podcast. I'm Jenny.
And I'm Michael. Today we're delving into a case that captivated a nation, a tragic event that shook a small college town and left countless questions in its wake. But even in the face of such profound sorrow, we seek to understand, to shed light, and ultimately to find a form of closure in the pursuit of justice.
That's right, Michael. We're talking about the horrific 2022 University of Idaho murders, a case that has seen a recent significant development with the sentencing of Bryan Kohberger. This is a story that deeply impacted so many, and understanding the timeline and the evidence is crucial.
Absolutely, Jenny. It was November 13, 2022, when the lives of four University of Idaho students, Ethan Chapin, Zana Kernodle, Madison Mogan, and Kaylee Gonsalves, were tragically cut short in an off-campus home in Moscow, Idaho. This small, tight-knit community that hadn't seen the homicide in years was plunged into a nightmare.
The details were chilling. The Latah County Coroner's Office reported that the victims were likely asleep when they were stabbed with a large knife, and some even had defensive wounds. The initial investigation was a massive undertaking, with local police, the Idaho State Police, and the FBI working tirelessly, collecting over 100 pieces of physical evidence and responding to thousands of tips from the public.
The hunt for a suspect was intense. A crucial lead emerged on December 7, 2022, when police asked for information about a white 2011 to 2016 Hyundai Elantra seen near the crime scene. This vehicle became a key piece of the puzzle. Just over 2 weeks later, on December 15, 2022, Bryan Kohberger, accompanied by his father, was stopped twice in Indiana while driving a white Hyundai Elantra on their way home to Pennsylvania for winter break.
And then on December 30th, 2022, the major breakthrough. Police announced the arrest of Bryan Kohberger in Albrightsville, Pennsylvania. He was charged with 4 counts of first-degree murder and 1 count of burglary. Kohberger, it turned out, was a PhD student in criminology at Washington State University, which is only 8 miles from Moscow, Idaho.
The evidence that linked him to the crime was compelling. Investigators found his DNA on a knife sheath left at the crime scene. They used genetic genealogy and even a Q-tip from the garbage at his parents' house to confirm the DNA match. Cell phone data also placed his phone in the vicinity of the victim's home multiple times before the attack, always in the late evening or early morning hours. Surveillance footage showed his white Hyundai Elantra repeatedly driving past the house on the night of the killings.
It's truly incredible how different pieces of evidence came together. Prosecutors also revealed that Kohberger's Amazon purchase history showed he bought a military-style knife similar to the one believed to be the murder weapon, though the knife itself has never been found. And in a chilling detail, a surviving roommate recalled seeing an intruder with bushy eyebrows and black clothing and a ski mask in the house around 4 a.m. on the night of the murders.
This case, as you can imagine, drew immense public interest. A sweeping gag order was imposed early on, and many court documents were sealed to protect Kohberger's right to a fair trial, given the intense media scrutiny. However, recently, on July 2, 2025, in a dramatic turn, Bryan Kohberger pled guilty to all charges as part of a plea deal to avoid the death penalty.
That's right, and on July 23, 2025, Bryan Kohberger was sentenced to 4 consecutive life sentences without the possibility of parole, plus an additional 10 years for the burglary charge, along with fines and civil penalties. During the sentencing hearing, family members of the victims and the 2 surviving roommates delivered powerful, emotional statements. When given the opportunity to speak, Kohberger respectfully declined.
The judge, Stephen Hippler, acknowledged that the motive for these horrific crimes may never truly be known, stating that there is no reason for these crimes that could approach anything resembling rationality. While some families expressed relief for the closure the plea deal brought, others, like the Gonsalves family, voiced strong criticism, believing Kohberger should have faced the death penalty. It highlights the complex emotional landscape that victims' families navigate.
This case truly underscores the dedication of law enforcement and the intricate work involved in bringing a perpetrator to justice, even when some questions like the motive may forever remain unanswered. It also showcases the enduring strength of the victims' families, who, despite their unimaginable loss, have fought tirelessly for accountability.
And this is why it's so important that stories like this get the attention they deserve. If you're finding this conversation as compelling and important as we are, please take a moment right now to subscribe to the Daily Dose of Delight podcast and hit that bell button so you never miss an episode. Your support helps us bring these vital conversations to a wider audience.
Absolutely. Every single subscription and notification bell click makes a difference. We hope that through conversations like these, we can encourage more understanding and compassion in the world. And we'd love to hear your thoughts on this incredibly sensitive and significant case. What did you find most impactful? What questions does it raise for you? Please head over to our social media channels or our website and give us your feedback. We read every comment, and your input truly shapes our podcast.
Your feedback is our fuel. Thank you so much for joining us on this journey today. This was a difficult dose, but an essential one of insight. The insight gained from facing hard truths.
Bye, everyone.
See you next episode.
And stay connected.